This is Nick Green, the host of the Thundercast, and we welcome you to this very special episode.
Alrighty.
And we welcome you back to this special episode to the Red Pride Thundercast, and we are joined once again by Zach Ellett
Hello,
and
guys.
from Sullivan, and yeah, let's jump right into it. We will be going into our state championship mode for uh, for high school football, and we have some really good games this week. Starting with Class of 1A on Friday morning at 11 a.m., it's Pioneer and South Putnam.
The thing about South Putnam, they were electric this year, man. What more could I say about the South Putnam team?
Yeah, I
Now,
know.
I'm not familiar with Pioneer, but I'm gonna take South Putnam to win state.
Yeah, I am too. Yeah, I have South Putnam winning because, well, because they've been good all year. I don't know anything about Pioneer, but South Putnam, like they've been the underdog, like of 1A this year. Now let's go into the 4A game. 4A, no. Let's go into the 3A game, which is Bishop Lures and Cascade. This is going to be a fun one. Bishop Lures, their defense has been good. They were able to stop Miles McLaughlin last week. Yeah, they dominated Knox, but they're going to have a tough time because they have to play the Cascade team that wears every team down. Like that's what happened when they played Gibson Southern. And Brady Trebley, like their main quarterback, he has not thrown a pick all year. And I feel like that's going to continue into this week. I am Cascade winning this one. I don't have a score prediction, but yeah, I have Cascade winning the Class of 3A.
Okay, first, before we talk about Cascade, let's talk about what happened on Saturday between Gibson Southern and Cascade. What a phenomenal game that was on Saturday night.
Yes, for sure.
And Cascade was they deserved that win. And I think they're going
Yeah,
to win state too. Give me the
yeah,
Cascade Cadets.
yeah, yeah. I have that. Yeah. That's going to be such a good game. Then in the last game on Friday, we have the Maryville Pirates and the New Palestine Dragons. We have the Pirates finally after 10 years of trying, they are finally back in the state championship. They haven't been able to make they haven't been able to make state. They've been making semi-state, but they have been cursed every time. But now, uh, but now they can. But they have to play the Dragons of New Pal. I mean, what can we say about New Pal? Uh, I like I was talking to my friends like before this year, and they all said that New Pal was the favorite to win 5A, and hey, they're in the 5A state championship, and so I have New Pal winning. So
I was wrong about the new Palpin pick, and Maryville's good. I mean, this is going to be a good game, but I'm going to take New Pal to win 5A.
yeah, uh, yeah, I fully agree. In the next in the next game, Saturday morning at 11 a.m., it's the 2A game. And this one's gonna be interesting because we have Andrean who was able to defeat Adams Central, which to me is pretty shocking. And before we go into this state championship game, I do need to say though, it was revealed that Adams Central will be 3A next year. So they will be moving up a class to 3A next year, like all year in regionals this year because it's a rolling 2 year deal. And Andrean will be taking on Brownstown Central, making their first ever appearance in state, just like Cascade. I I was leaning towards Brownstown Central, but then I kept on looking at Andrean, and I was like, hey, not Brownstown, but I am taking Andrean to win the Class of 2A.
Okay, I went to the Brownstown Central game against Linton Stockton at Linton for the regional game. Their fans are electric. They're going to be loud at Lucas Oil.
Mm-hmm.
I was favoring Lapel to win the 2A, but obviously they got eliminated by Brownstown
Yeah.
Central. So because of their fans, they're gonna bring it. They're gonna
Yeah.
bring their fans. They're gonna play solid offense. They're gonna play solid defense. I think I'm gonna take Brownstown Central for the upset.
Okay. So then we get to the Class of 4A game, and this one it is another Fort Wayne team, Fort Wayne Bishop Dwenger, taking on how about Ron Colley? Ron Colley for the first time in 5 years making it to state, and I have Ron Colley getting this win over Dwenger. So
Um, Again, like I said last week, I'm not familiar with any of these teams. I am familiar with a little bit about Roncalli because they've played Northview in sectionals every year.
yeah,
So because of their stats, I'm gonna take Roncalli.
yeah. Then in the last game Friday night, we have a great not Friday night, but Saturday night. But then the last game Saturday night, we have a great matchup
A
between
great
the
rematch up.
rematch the uh, between the Westfield Shamrocks, led by former Quaker himself, Cooper Melvin, the brother of Carson Melvin, and the Brownsburg Bulldogs, led by Oscar Knox, who will potentially join us. Who will potentially join us on the 17th of December. I can't wait. I can't wait for that. So,
I
like
mean,
that's going to be a like that is going to be very interesting. And yeah, so now let's take a look at yeah. So how do you feel about that game?
well, it's 6A. What do you expect? I mean, it's the best in the state of Indiana. So, like you said, former Quaker, led by Westfield, and Oscar Fry, quarterback of Brownsburg, which I do love Oscar. It's gonna be a good game. I'm gonna take Brownsburg to win it again.
Yeah, I will too because I will too because I've been to a Brownsburg game before. Like I went to the Brownsburg Avon sectional game, and that was a rematch of earlier this year. And I just saw Brownsburg play dominant football. It like their fans are loud, their fans are rowdy. Uh, like the whole environment with Brownsburg is good. But I said it at the beginning of the year, and I'm going to stick to my word right now. Brownsburg is unbeatable this year, and I'm not I'm not lying when I tell you that.
They're basically like the Indiana Hoosiers of the IHSAA.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I fully agree with that. Now, now I do have a post from Facebook from the football forum that I do want to talk about. These are the people that are moving up and down, potentially moving up. Let's start with the teams that are for sure moving up. Adams Central will be going from 2A to 3A because they won state last year and regionals this year. How do you feel about that?
I mean, was it really shocking? I mean, Adams Central is a good team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then the class of 3A North champion for this year, Fort Wayne Lures, they yeah, they will be moving up from 3A to class of 4A next year. And I don't know how to feel about that, but that would be awesome to see Lures do good in 4A next year.
I think they'll struggle. I think they'll struggle the first year of them being in 4A, but I could see
Uh-huh.
him potentially being a good football program in 4A.
Yes. Then the three teams that could move up classes if they were to win state this year. this year. So if South Putnam would move to 2A if they win state this year. Andrean would move to 3A next year if they win state this year. And then the Pirates of like Maryville would actually move up to 6A if they won state. And I and but out of those, I have uh, and out of those, like once again, I have to say I have South Putnam actually moving to 2A next year, and potentially Andrean moving to 3A. But I don't see the Pirates moving to 6A. I think they will stay in 5A. Then
I think
the four teams that will be dropping back down due to success factor. Fort Wayne Snyder will be back in the class of 5A next year. So that's gonna be very interesting because we know that Snyder's been good, has been good in 5A. Like they made state, like they made state like the first year since 2018 that Decatur was in state. Then the following year they got moved up to 6A after winning state, and Decatur won state that year in 5A. And the next team from 5A to 4A is East Central. East Central will be moving back down to 4A. I have East Central completely dominating 4A next year. I mean, that's not a question. Like East Central is a powerhouse in 4A. It's like it used to be them winning state, not New Power. How do you feel about that?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm really not familiar with East Central either. I'm not familiar with any teams in the North, but any talk about any team like in the Wabash Valley, I could talk about them all day long.
Yeah. Then from 4A to 3A, it then for from 4A to 3A, which they will be winning 3A next year and the year after, it's the powerhouse Indianapolis Chatard. Bishop Chatard will be moving back down to 3A after a success factor. And then moving from class of 2A to 1A, it is Lafayette Central Catholic moving to 1A. And now from the enrollments, there is talk that Valparaiso, that is in 5A right now, that is the biggest school in 5A, they could be in 6A next year due to like enrollment because they are growing in size. And speaking of growing in size, talk about Whiteland. Like we can see Whiteland in the next few years moving up to 6A as well. And like in speaking of growing, Plainfield. Like Plainfield's growing. I don't see them moving to. I don't. They will not be moving to 6A like in the next 5 years, but in the next 10 to 15 years, yes, yes, I can honestly see them move up to 6A because they are growing at a very rapid pace. But but if you also think about it too, like like for football, like if we get a good class and we win state and the regionals the next year, hey, we're in 6A due to success factor. So yeah, but yeah,
Well, before
but
you talk about classifications, you got to think about conferences. Like, what's the conference going to look like the year you guys go to 6A? I mean,
yeah,
for
I know.
example, you could see like teams like Martinsville do really well, or
Yeah, yeah,
or possibly Bloomington North when they get the chance.
yeah, I know. And then but then yeah, and then we also don't know like who's going to be leaving our conference next because uh, like because I have a feeling that either Franklin, Mooresville, or Marksville might actually try to lead the mid state conference. But it's gonna be very interesting. Like to see if they actually do. But yeah, but if I were in charge of the athletics for Plainfield, uh, uh, uh like this is my own opinion, but I've been around Plainfield sports in a while, and we've not been good like in any tournament series, and it's because of our schedule. And I do have to say that if I were in charge of athletics or like or getting into a new conference, I would. Like I would, I would. I would have a meeting with the rest of the mid-state teams and say, hey, this conference isn't really that good, and we want out. So so I would take Plainfield, like, and I would move out of the conference, and I would move them. I don't know, like probably play
Would
like
you
a
like something like the Hoosier Legends with Avon and Brownsburg?
that's not the Hoosier Legends, but that's the Hoosier Crossroads. But
Oh,
no, but no, Plainfield would not fit in that conference. Like, it, like for a competitive standpoint, there is really barely any options like to do that, like to go and play good in conferences. Like, I think one of the conferences we could join is the dying conference Indiana. Like, they're looking for teams. Like, it would be Bloomington South, Columbus North, and Southport. Like, those are the only three teams left, and Plainfield could join that. But but if we want to be rivals, like with another Hitchens County school, like they just joined the Sagamore Conference, be in the same conference with Lafayette Harrison, the Terre Haute schools, Danville and Lebanon. Like, yeah, I don't know.
there's a possibility of Plainfield going independent.
Yeah, that's the possibility I don't want to see, but yeah, that's the main possibility. But with new conferences popping up everywhere, like I can tell you that there are some schools that might want to join Plainfield, like in a conference. I don't know who those schools are. Like maybe maybe some of the maybe some of the 6A schools that really don't do well in sports. Like like I wouldn't be shocked like if Plainfield and Perry Meridian say in the same conference, because Perry Meridian, see, their class is 6A. I mean, their sports aren't good, but they can be decent. And I honestly think that Plainfield, Perry Meridian, and Decatur Central should all stay in a conference together. Like,
What about what about the classic rivalry between Plainfield and Avon or Martinsville?
uh, Plainfield, Avon, that could work in a conference. My only issue is that Avon is too big. Like Avon is too big, like to be in a conference. But yeah, to be in a conference with Decatur, Martinsville. Uh, yeah, to be in a conference with Decatur, Martinsville, Plainfield, Perry Meridian, like and all those other mid-state teams that aren't good because Avon would destroy them in some sports. Like, but in but like in basketball, like if Plainfield has a good class, Plainfield could win that conference and beat Avon easily. But I feel like that Avon would easily dominate that conference, like in a few sports. So, uh, so yeah. But then there's another class, not another class, but another conference Plainfield could join. But I don't think they would. But they can't because there's already eight. There's already gonna be eight schools next year, and that is a MIC with Ben Davis, Pike, Lawrence North, Lawrence Central, and all of them because those are like Indianapolis based schools, and Plainfield can easily travel there. Like, it's not a long travel, so yeah. Well, we'll see in the future. So yeah. So is there any talk about is there any talk about Sullivan moving up a class in the future?
Um, I don't see moving up a class, but I could talk about teams around the area that I could possibly see moving up and down if you
Okay.
would want that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, my first talk about moving up is probably going to be the North Davies Cougars. I can see moving up in football. And
Uh, uh, Linton too, because like because they have good class. True.
Nah, they're going to lose a lot of talent.
Yeah,
I
that's true.
mean, during Thanksgiving, I was talking to one of the Linton coaches, and it's not looking good for Sullivan and Linton next year in football.
Dang.
But in basketball and other sports, I can see that being a really good game.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned with Plainfield and Avon, I can see that happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I fully agree with that. Yeah, and then yeah. Well, I guess that will do it for today's episode. And thank you for joining, Zach. And that like, and we'll be back on here uh sometime again. So thanks for joining, and we will see you later.
All right. Thank you, Nick.